Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
We talked to people who attended the rave that left 3 people in critical condition.
We noticed that there was a massive crowd, and we're like, usually massive crowds at music festivals mean one of two things, a fight or an overdose.
The hockey community mourns the loss of a MacEwan Griffin's teammate after his sudden death last weekend.
It does bring the hockey community, and not just the hockey community, but the whole community together to rally behind what type of person he was.
And NAIT unveils its new peer support center.
I know that counseling has had huge increases in use every single year.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. Some rave-goers are speaking out after a number of people were sent to hospital last weekend at West Edmonton Mall's Soundwave Music Festival.
3 people were taken to the hospital, which is causing concern about the safety around these kind of events. Hunter Murray joins us live from the South Lobby with more on this story.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks, Christine. We reached out to West Edmonton Mall for comments regarding the situation, but they chose not to make any. They have, however, removed the Soundwave category from the West Edmonton Mall website, wem.ca. The situation has people questioning about the culture and the safety at raves. Soundwave hosted 2 DJs this past Saturday night. The event went from 7:30 all the way up to 2 a.m. and was an 18-plus event. The loud music and bright lights weren't enough for some people, as there are witnesses who say that drugs were also a part of the experience for some. 2 NAIT students who don't want to be identified often go to these types of new wave raves and admit they have indulged in drugs. They weren't there Saturday, but they say it's part of the scene.
It's mind-altering, like everything you touch, everything you see, it's just a trip, man.
It makes your mood altered to only feel good things. Your texture is different in terms of your touch.
City Councillor Scott McKean's opinion now is that if drugs are inviolable, then it's about reducing the threat of personal danger.
So I much prefer a harm reduction model, and that, they even have in some jurisdictions where you can have your drugs tested.
These 2 individuals were at Soundwave last Saturday. They went to the rave knowing how easy it was to get drugs there and witnessed one of the 3 people who went to the hospital that night.
You can literally ask one person in the crowd, they'll be like, oh yeah, I know a guy, and get you a pill for like $5. It's literally how it goes. And it's just like the most easy thing to do. Like, getting water is more expensive at a rave than it is to find drugs.
When I was going to the bar with my boyfriend, we saw a guy on the ground and he was being respirated because he had collapsed due to taking too many drugs and not taking care of himself.
As of now, there are no further updates regarding the 3 people who were sent to the hospital that night.
Hunter, is this situation common for most raves?
It is common, yes, from the people that we talked to. The previous Soundwave before this one was in October 2018, and 6 people were injured that night and a few arrested. The last Soundwave that happened before this current Soundwave was at the Shaw Conference Center at the beginning of January. 3 people were injured, and 2 of them were in very bad conditions.
Are there first responders on the scene at all times during these raves?
It's different for every venue. This past weekend, Soundwave did have first responders who did a good job helping people out over the ones that were injured. The problem is that we can't always expect several injuries at an event like this. There's no way to tell what will happen by the end of the night, so we can't dispatch that many people to help them out because they're busy around the city.
Thanks, Hunter. That was Hunter Murray reporting live from the South Lobby.
The MacEwan University Griffins men's hockey team and hockey community is mourning the loss of a teammate and competitor. Nikeko Lamuth passed away Friday night following a game in Calgary.
He's a hard worker, so he always put his best effort on the line.
Flags are flying at half-mast as the school remembers Lamuth as being a hard-working player who was a leader on the ice and off. The death has impacted MacEwan and the college hockey community. The unexpected loss of someone so young is being felt here at NAIT too.
Not only coaching against him, which he was a good competitor, made it very hard to play against on a nightly basis.
Lamuth collapsed in the dressing room Friday after the game and went into cardiac arrest. Although the official cause of death has not been released, a funeral service was held Wednesday for close friends and family.
Mental health. It's an issue that's hard to bring up and discuss with the people around you.
However, NAIT looked to end the stigma by inviting students to share their stories this week on Bell Let's Talk Day. We go now to Tegan Gieselbrecht with more on this story.
Thanks, guys. Every day, students walk past each other in the hallways. Many seem fine on the outside, but on the inside, they're struggling with their mental health. January 30th was Bell Let's Talk Day, a day designed to reduce the stigma associated with mental health. NAIT took part in the event by setting up various activities around campus. The main event had students and staff sharing their personal struggles.
Having open discussions around mental health is key to ending the stigma. As we build a community and supports, we start to see that everyone has had some sort of issue at some time in their life, and we hear their stories of success and see how we can be successful.
NAIT's athletes also joined in on the conversation. Contrary to popular belief, student athletes also sometimes struggle with their own mental health. However, they find strength and support in one another.
I have a great support system within my team. We are here for each other, we support each other, we talk each other through things, so that's a great thing to have. Definitely.
Altogether, Bell Let's Talk raised more than $7.2 million for mental health initiatives. Although Bell Let's Talk Day has passed, NAIT has expressed the importance of keeping the conversation going all year round. According to counselors, NAIT is experiencing more students than ever coming forward about their mental health. Bell Let's Talk Day may be a huge contributor as to why the walls are slowly coming down on the stigma surrounding mental health. From NAIT NewsWatch, I'm Tegan Gieselbrecht. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Tegan.
That's our Tegan Gieselbrecht reporting. There's a new place on campus for students to get support.
We now pronounce the NAIT Peer Support Center open. Yay!
The center is run by students for students, unlike traditional counseling services. A peer supporter will talk one-on-one with a student and provide guidance, resources, or referrals for future supports. NAIT's current counseling services have been unable to meet the increasing demand.
I know that counseling has had huge increases in use every single year, and you can talk to them about their stats. They're like 76% increase over the last year.
The aim is to provide an environment where students feel safe and at ease having a discussion about whether they may be affected. It is available every day, and you can check it out at naitsa.ca/peer support for more information.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
After seeing an increase in supply, the Alberta government issued licenses for 10 more cannabis dispensaries in the province.
Pneumo, just because we're not 100% sure where and what happened.
One dispensary in our city, Pneumo Cannabis, is unsure what to think of the province's decision to open up new stores. After legalization, the province struggled to meet the high demand for cannabis, leaving many stores with empty shelves.
It would have been nice for them to be more transparent on, but again, it's a matter of like they're trying to do what's in the best interest of the province and trying to make it as safe, and they're trying to make it as accessible as they can.
Currently in Alberta, there are 75 cannabis retailers. This number includes the 10 new licenses. The AGLC cited an improvement in the supply of cannabis.
The Farm Tech Conference made its way back to Edmonton this week, showcasing the latest in technology and economic developments.
If we think about frost damage actually looks a bit like...
The Farm Tech Conference is back at the Expo Center for its 20th anniversary, with many keynote speakers ranging from marketing and customer service experts, political journalists, to talk show host Rick Mercer. The variety of speakers allows those to learn about its benefits and how to improve their crop growth with minimal cost and effort, as well as getting to improve their networking.
I think it's a great networking event, so I get to see a ton of customers that normally would take me a month on the road to see.
The conference wrapped up last night, but we'll be back next January.
International students got a chance to experience a Canadian tradition. For some international students, this is their first time on skates. Some of the NAIT women's hockey team were there to help, giving tips and a helping hand to some novice skaters. Volunteers were also selling raffle tickets to promote a good cause.
The International Center is collaborating with the counseling services to bring awareness to students about well-being, so not only mental health but physical health.
NAIT currently has 1,700 international students from 91 countries. For more information on NAIT's international programs, visit nait.ca. Coming up after the break, Edmonton's ice castle is up against Mother Nature.
We take a look at how this past week's fluctuating weather has impacted the popular attraction.
It looks entirely different from what it did when we were open just last week.
This week in sports, we'll take a look at a women's hockey player who's had to miss some unexpected time. As well, some big news coming out of the Edmonton Prospects Baseball Association. And finally, we'll hit the hardwood with the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. All that and more coming up.
Well, we've been enjoying quite a lot of warm weather this week, but it looks like cold weather is coming our way, along with a lot of snowfall. I'll have more on that for you after the break.
So, the UK has just instituted the toughest ban on ivory trade Europe has ever seen. For this exciting button push.
It's 1:59. My ears are bleeding. Underwear required over 40 stitches to her face. Good afternoon, it's 2 o'clock. I'm Jenna Winterburn with your NR92 News Update.
You're listening to NR92.
Mother Nature has been throwing us back and forth this week from warm to cold.
With the weather heating up over the weekend, it brought the temporary closure of the ice castle. The popular attraction was closed earlier this week as temperatures warmed, making it unsafe for the public. A benefit to the ice melting, workers spent time changing the shapes and sculptures, transforming it to seem like a new venue.
Any opportunity that we have to spray more water on and to add features, we are always doing that work.
The weather has always been the biggest challenge and benefactor to the ice castles, but with the return of the cold weather, they hope to keep the castle open until late March. While the snow is certainly coming down today, I hear it's supposed to get even colder, which is brutal. My car barely starts in the summer.
Oh God, I was really hoping for some better weather, but who knows? Maybe Emily will have more on that for us.
Well, the weather has been quite up and down this past week. I think we can all agree it's been surprisingly warm in the last few days. However, heading into this weekend, we are looking at a lot of colder temperatures. In Calgary, we have a high of -14 and a low of -18, which is going to include a light dusting, some flurries early on Saturday morning, leading into some clearer skies later in the day. But Sunday is going to be an intense cold snap for pretty much all of central Alberta. In Jasper, they're looking at a high of -4 and a low of -11, which is going to be nice and warm if you're looking to go skiing on the slopes. Lots of fresh powder, definitely snowing all weekend long. But again, try to prioritize skiing on Saturday. It will get colder on Sunday. In Fort McMurray, we've got a high of -22 and a low of -25. It's going to be very, very cold and a little bit dangerous to be outside for too long. So please try to bundle up and stay off the roads. There is definitely going to be snow all weekend long, and it will only be getting colder into the week. In Edmonton, we've got a high of -17 and a low of -19. Definitely snowing on Friday evening and early on Saturday, but it's going to be clearing up a little bit later on in the day on Saturday with only a few centimeters of snow on Sunday. Again, a lot colder heading into Sunday and into the next week. On average, Edmonton usually has a high of -4 and a low of -13, which is pretty much on par for what we're at right now. However, I think we can all agree it's a blessing that we're not reaching our record low, which was -46 in 1883, the record high being 10 in 2005. Now, Alberta has issued a warning to drivers to stay off the roads unless it is an absolute priority. There is a traveler warning in effect due to the poor road conditions, so if you are heading out, bundle up, stay safe, drive safe, and that's all I've got for you. Back to you guys.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
We know your opinion matters. And that's why here at NAIT NewsWatch this season, you can speak up and also have a chance to win a great prize.
Yes, in partnership with our sister campus publication, the NAIT Nugget, we will be polling viewers and reading our questions all week. All you have to do is give us your reply, like one of or both of our Facebook pages, and you're in the running. Our first poll question is, do you think future Soundwave events should be shut down after the incident last weekend? Just go on the NAIT NewsWatch or NAIT Nugget Facebook sites and check off the answer you agree with most. And again, don't forget to like the page to be in the running for 2 tickets to the Oilers game on March 13th versus the New Jersey Devils. You can vote each week. We post a new question up until and after our March 8th NewsWatch airing online. A random winner will be selected and they'll be off to Rogers Place next week with seats for Wednesday night's game. There will be another prize up for grabs after that.
A new question comes up every Friday afternoon, so get your like and question reply in before then. We'll also post on the Facebook the results of our poll questions, so you can see if most viewers and readers share your opinion or if you're in the vocal minority.
Well, that's pretty exciting. I, myself, am pretty excited to hear about the Ooks hockey. There's been some action with the girls hockey.
Indeed, there has. I'm also quite excited to hear about it, and fortunately, I know someone who knows a lot about it. His name is Evan Kenny.
Thanks, guys. We're going to start it off with a little bit of a problem for the women's hockey team. Most players battle for ice time, but one player on the NAIT women's hockey team is battling to get back on the ice. One of NAIT's goaltenders, Renee Schmaltz, is out with illness. Because of this, the Ukes are forced to play with only a starter and no backup. Caitlin Slater has taken the challenge head on.
Well, I know I just have to be there every night. Like, some nights you struggle more than others, so just battling through those tough nights and doing good on the good nights you can, just help out the team as much as possible.
It's still uncertain when the team will have both tenders, but until then, it's the Caitlin Slater Show. Great hockey games do not come often, but when they do, you must fully experience them. On Tuesday, the Edmonton Oil Kings and Brandon Wheat Kings played one of the most exciting games in recent history. Oil Kings, donning the white jerseys, hosted the Wheat Kings Tuesday night. Edmonton's top scorer, Trey Fix-Wolanski, had been held pointless for 3 coming into the game. Brandon got off to a hot start, with Ridley Grieg being Todd Scott, scoring on the team's first shot. The Wheat Kings would add 2 more, with Pittsburgh Penguins prospect Celio Matheos getting assists on both. Now, 3-1, and the game really starts to pick up in the physical department. Multiple huge hits coming back to back to back. Now, heading into the last 10 minutes of the game, rookie goaltender Ethan Kruger is battling to keep his team in it. He would not be able to fully stand his ground as the Oil Kings would pot 2, 1 coming off of a 5-minute penalty and sending the game to overtime. Both teams came streaking down the ice, trading chances back and forth, but the Tendies held in, sending the game to a shootout. Now, no goals in the shootout until the man himself, Fix-Wolanski, comes down and rips one past Kruger to end the game. Brandon player Braden Chizen was kicked out of the game for an illegal check to the head on David Cope.
Just been trying to stick to my game and let it come to me, not try to force things. I thought been trying to force a couple too many things in the last couple games, but played pretty safe today, and I thought that helped our team a lot out.
Edmonton's Western Canadian Baseball League team is asking the city to help with some upgrades. The Edmonton Prospects have submitted a formal proposal to the city of Edmonton for ballpark upgrades. The baseball club estimates costs for the upgrades between $2.75 million and $3.25 million. The Prospects have been the main tenant of the stadium for the last 4 years, and with the proposal, they plan on using the facility for the next 25 to come.
What people don't realize is there's 6 teams in Alberta, 6 teams in Saskatchewan. They rely heavily on what happens in Edmonton.
Upgrades include new lights, new artificial turf, as well as other mechanical upgrades. Hitting the hardwood this past weekend was the Harlem Globetrotters. Cool ball tricks, amazing dunks, and the team-owned invention, the 4-point shot, are just part of what the Globetrotters do. The team is also active in social aspects of life. One player, Moose, is proud to be part of the culture and be breaking barriers.
In those 93 years, we've been able to bridge not just the social gaps between different cultures, but we've also been able to break gender barriers as well with having female Globetrotters. We're one big family.
The Globetrotters have been around for 9 decades and are currently on their fan-powered tour. And now, it's time to take a look at what's happening in sports.
Time for your sports in 45.
All eyes are on Atlanta this weekend as Super Bowl 53 takes place. The New England Patriots will appear in their 5th championship in the last 8 years. And with the win, Patriots quarterback Tom Brady would be the only player with 6 rings. They'll be taking on the LA Rams. The Oilers hit the ice for the first time this weekend with interim GM Keith Gretzky. Gretzky is taking over after Peter Chiarelli was let go on January 22nd, and he was formerly the assistant GM. 18-year-old Edmonton soccer star Alphonso Davies made his Bundesliga debut for Bayern Munich on Saturday. He played 4 minutes in the 4-1 victory for the team.
That's been your sports in 45.
So lots of hockey news, and let's hope that the Ooks can get both their goalies back together soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Evan. It was pretty exciting.
Thank you very much, Evan. Coming up after the break, we bring some sparkly donations to a Sherwood Park couple that are helping local grads find their perfect dresses.
We find out how that old gown in your closet could make a difference for a high school student in your community.
Oh yes, every year, and we get more and more gowns.
Coming later on the show, I'll be taking a look at some local theater.
Listen up, sports fans.
Stay updated on your NAIT sports teams, from hockey to soccer to basketball and more.
Listen at 3:15 for your 60-second sports update on NR92, the station for the students.
High school graduation is an exciting time for students, but for some, the cost of suits or gowns can complicate things.
To make sure all students can attend their graduation feeling beautiful, the Sherwood Park Elks have found a solution.
Oh, wonderful. That is wonderful.
This one's quite big.
Gowns for Grads is a charitable organization which accepts donations of gowns or suits for students or the parents of students who would otherwise be unable to afford them. They have a no questions asked policy and have helped many kids attend their graduation looking and feeling amazing.
Oh yes, every year, and we get more and more gowns. Yeah, so which is very, very nice. More people, and the suits.
Currently in its 5th year, Gowns for Grads are accepting new and used gowns or suits all year long at 3001 Buckingham Drive, Unit 140 in Sherwood Park. For more information, visit the Sherwood Park Elks Facebook page at facebook.com. Man, with all this snowy weather, I can't help but be depressed.
I know what you mean. It's been snowing like crazy, and I just want to do something fun.
I think that means that it's time.
That's right. It's time for Jeremy to give us our entertainment scoop.
Oh, as the weather gets colder, so too does the urge to step into a nice heated venue. Well, gather round. I'll be giving you an in-depth look into some of the hottest events around the city. Unfortunately, that's not literal. First on the list, the Varscona Theatre has a new play that's the belle of the ball.
There it is! I see it! It's big!
Miss Teen, a new local Edmonton play, tells the tale of a single mother whose daughter shocks their town by somehow winning the local pageant. In a desperate bid to improve her family's financial situation, she will go to great lengths and risk it all, despite the danger to her and her daughter's social life.
You know, one of the nice things for us, it doesn't often happen, is it's an all ages show too. Like, this is good for anybody. So it's nice to see some younger people, some kids in the audience and stuff like that. I really think about 8 and up can probably groove on this show pretty well.
The show runs weekdays at 7:30 p.m. until February 10th. This weekend, NAIT was home to a fierce robotics competition.
Hold on, cancel this interview.
As junior high students from Edmonton convened, NAIT became an intergalactic battleground for the first LEGO League. Students built robots using LEGO bricks and took part in a scenario that would try to resolve problems that would take place on a lunar colony. The program hopes to encourage kids to consider studying STEM fields in their future.
This program gives them an opportunity to pursue a more intellectual activity, but still compete with other kids and get a chance to prove themselves.
The first LEGO League will have more competitions at NAIT over the next 6 weekends. A classic comic store is back in business. Over the weekend, the Happy Harbor Comic Shop outside of MacEwan reopened its doors with a grand celebration and a new name. As customers, cosplayers, and even balloon artists came to the locale, the newly christened Wonderland Games has opened up to quite the crowd, as well as returning regulars.
We know there's an audience of collectors, readers, and fans. What we want to look for are those people who've stopped collecting. Why did they stop? Can we bring them back? If we bring them back, it's like, okay, how do we introduce their kids? And how do we get everyone excited about comics?
Wonderland Games will continue Happy Harbor's tradition of supporting local artists and offering classes. Oh man, sometimes I wish I just knew what others wanted. Wouldn't that make life a breeze? Well, if you're a lady, you might just get a peek into the minds of men. What Men Want is a reimagining of the 2000s film, What Women Want.
Sweet new wheels. A pre-celebration for the big day, huh?
I'm making partner, baby.
After working her life towards her career, Allie Davis, played by Taraji P. Henson, loses out on a major promotion. Instead, she gains the ability to hear men's thoughts.
I feel weird after last night.
Yeah, that's what happens when tequila meets desperation. Oh.
She transforms her life and realizes a little more about the men around her and herself in this new comedy from Paramount Pictures. NAIT NewsWatch wants to send you to the movies. In celebration of the film's release on February 8th, we're giving away 2 pairs of tickets, as well as, these pretty stylish red towels. To enter, tweet the name of the main star of the original film, What Women Want, to @NAIT NewsWatch. Well, that's all I have for entertainment this week. Let's pass it along back to the anchor's desk.
Jeremy, thank you so much. All of that was exceptionally entertaining.
Thank you so much for joining us. This has been NAIT NewsWatch.